Hello and welcome to Lethally Stupid. I was about to say thumb buggers.
Yeah, that is not what we're doing.
Yeah,
Unrelated.
No, we're past that.
We have evolved.
Yes, never looking back.
Yeah. Well, what we are actually talking about today on Lethally Stupid is D&D stories from our personal history. Obviously, there'll be some overlap. We've played a lot of D&D with each other.
Yes.
But we might have some D&D stories that are separate from at least some people.
Not me, I don't think. I think anytime I've played D&D, I think you've been to almost every single one except for, I can confidently say maybe just like 2 or 3.
That you've been to?
Yeah. It's like a few that you just happen to not be able to make it to.
Yeah, it's very rare that I miss, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I make
Dyson
a point to
is a
go.
dependable
because,
guy.
Yeah, I make a point to go because it's like one of the only things I do to get out and have fun with friends, so I try to make it every single time.
Yep. So who wants to start off the D&D? Why don't you start off the D&D stories, Mr. Dyson?
Okay. Do we want to talk about like things that have happened in campaigns or things that have happened around the table with people?
I mean, I think either one. Whatever you think is more entertaining.
Okay. I mean,
whatever you got first.
I thought of one whenever we first looked at the list and grabbed one, which was one of my favorites. Not something that normally happens where I do like crazy things with my character. Normally that's up to other people, I think. I try to...
He tends to be very reserved when we play D&D.
Yeah,
as somebody who's DM'd for him a lot.
Yeah, my characters end up being like one of the people in charge almost, like of the party. So, so I try not to do too many crazy things. But for whatever reason that night, I was like, you know what? Like this sounds like a fun thing to do. So, we heard it was a Dragonborn that was up there with important information. So it's like, okay, well, we can't really, it's a super long ladder. I forget how long Will said it was. It was a very tall ladder that I had, the characters had to go up. Mm-hmm. But I forget, I think
we were like 60 feet in the air.
Yeah,
I think it was the top of a tower.
Yeah, and I think you casted invisibility on me.
I did.
So I climbed, I rolled good enough on my stealth check. I made it into the room, was able to grapple the Dragonborn who was sitting at a desk writing something. And then I did a suplex down the ladder I just climbed up. Which Will could not believe, because I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to take a lot of fall damage too, but
he took more.
So is this fucking Dragonborn. Because I think we sent me up there because it's like, it's a Dragonborn, it's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah,
if someone can handle a one-on-one while we wait for everyone to get up there.
You were decidedly the tank at that point. That was before the character I was playing died.
Yeah, and then you made chance. Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, well, that was the only thing that came to my mind whenever I got the grapple. I was like, I didn't think I was going to get the grapple. So I suplexed the fucking Dragonborn and killed it with the suplex. I was like, okay. I'm like, I've done a crazy thing in a campaign now.
Yeah, that was impressive too. I enjoyed
that. That's the first one that comes to mind. And then I have another one that comes to mind that involves a lot of our characters.
Yeah.
That was our first time running into the deck of many things.
Oh, yes.
It was... how many of us were there that actually drew cards? I can't remember that. I know
I drew, you drew,
Slater drew. I'm just trying to think if anyone else was there.
Is this the time where you got transported?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That character is still there.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It was at least those 3. I just don't remember if there was anyone else. I don't know if Gabe was playing with us at the time.
Gabe hadn't joined us yet.
I think Dylan was there.
I think I drew a card.
You might have been there. Yeah.
Well, I remember. If it was when you got transported.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember you drew cards because you felt bad.
I wasn't going to draw any because I just didn't feel like the druid would. Yeah. And then I don't give a fuck about cards. He was a druid nature guy.
And then the barbarian got fucked.
Yeah. So I think. I'm trying to remember what everyone drew exactly. I don't remember, but I remember you drew the idiot card, so your intelligence went down.
And then it makes you draw 2 more.
And that's what fucked you.
Yeah.
Because because I think your declaration was 1.
Yeah,
and it was
1.
Idiot. So I was like, great.
It's like, cool, I guess 1 becomes 3.
Yeah, so I forget what the first one did, because...
I lost all my material wealth. And stuff.
That's what it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you lost a lot of your gold and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And then the third one was it
Donjon, I think, is the one that sends you away to a different...
Yes,
like, yeah.
Because there's another one that, like, seals you, and...
But I also got an overpowered sword out of the whole thing, so if I ever play that character again, he'll be a total badass.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, and then he gets transported away. We're like, well, shit.
And was it... So you had started a new character, like, the next... playthrough.
The next time we played.
That is where Craig Christ came from.
Which was whenever you came up with having that character be my druid's dad.
Father, yeah.
Yeah, because our characters were half siblings.
Yes.
But from the same mom, I believe.
Yeah, and then it was like...
Craig was a dark elf, but I did not do blackface, just so you know.
Was a dark elf. I was just, at the moment, what we thought of when the character first came out was just a straight up half elf, so it was a wood elf and what we thought was human.
Nope.
Because the mom was a wood elf, we decided, with our characters being half siblings. And then
I think I was part human.
Yes, your character was part human.
And
we thought my character was part human also.
Because we thought we had the same dad. Or you thought you had my dad.
No, we knew we were half siblings. We had the same mom.
Yeah,
our mom was a wood elf.
Okay.
And then we thought we just had different human parents.
We thought that she
And I was darker skinned. That was already established.
Yeah.
I was darker skinned.
Yeah, and we thought she was a wholesome Christian woman that just had a type.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
turned out was a big...
Yeah, humans, yeah.
It was like, we had the...
Yeah.
I just... Thinking back about it, it's so funny to me that like me and Will had this whole like family secret background plan, and all that I was like, mom was a slut.
Yeah,
that's
I was worried for a little bit. I was like, oh great, what's the thing they're gonna make? Because it involves my character. That was the only thing I knew for sure, is that it involved my character. And then it was like, oh yeah, no, Craig Christ is actually your father, so you're half dark elf, half wood elf.
Yeah.
And then I just got a couple bonuses from it, and that was all that ended up happening.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your dark vision's now even better. Shit like that.
It's like, technically, it should have been before, without you knowing why. It's just, you have this natural ability.
I had to retcon it, so.
Yeah, there was some... So I had to, like, write new things on my shit. Like, oh, my dark vision's actually whatever it is for a dark elf. So, it was pretty great. It ended up being good. But yeah, he drew those terrible things. I think Slater drew some pretty lackluster ones. I don't remember if they were super bad or anything like that.
I think he got the moon, actually. No, the moon would have given you a wish, and then you guys could have just wished my character back.
Yes, that's what we were hoping. Was that or the one that alters reality? I think one of us got a throne card where we have to go clear out monsters.
Yeah, there was
a
keep. I think that was Slater.
That was Slater who got that, because he drew one or two. Dylan maybe drew some lackluster, and he might have got money.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The gem one where you got a bunch of gems.
Just materializes.
And then after everything that happened, because you went right before me, everyone else did their shit. You went, and then I was like, well, fuck. It all went so terrible. I'm like, I guess I will. Yeah. And I literally did a prayer. I'm like, please. Because I knew there was still one bad one in there. It's the void one. That's the one that like seals your, you away. Like, you keep all your shit, but you get sealed away and also transported. And then you're guarded by like two very like high level
like an archdevil or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, oh shit. So I was like, I knew that one. I knew there's still at least really one bad one left from what everyone else had drew.
Yeah.
But I also knew there was some good stuff in there. So I was like, okay, I'll draw one. I was like, I was just like, nothing bad. Even if it's just like a
just
straight...
neutral, yeah.
Yeah, and like my fucking alignment changes, whatever. There's one like that, balance, I think. It's like, just give me something that's not bad. And then I draw, and I saw what it was, and I was like... And it's the best one you can get.
The sun.
The sun. So I gained 50,000 experience and a wondrous item of the DM's choice.
Yep.
And yeah.
Do you remember what the item ended up being?
It was a luck stone. So all of my ability checks, my skills, everything went up by 1. So which when I read it, I didn't realize it also includes my initiative. So yeah, nice. I was like, oh, okay, cool, because I guess it's counted as a skill. So I was like, okay, so. Yeah, all my stuff is +1 higher than it should be. And I think it gives me advantage on something. I can't remember what, but it might be skill checks. It might be like everything's +1, I have advantage on skill checks. It's something like that. Yeah. And then, I'm much higher level than everyone else now.
Yeah, I'm sure it went up to like, what, level 12 or something like
12,
that? Yeah. Well, the rest of us were sitting at like level 5 or something.
You guys are, 5 or 6, something like that. Yeah, so, now Frederick is very powerful. Yeah. And that's something we have to figure out when we finally play the continuation of that story.
Pendelver, right? Mine's Pendelver.
Yeah, mine's a Pendelver, yeah. There's another source book they're coming out with, Wizards of the Coast, that will be a continuation of it. That's apparently going to be more cosmic horror kind
Ooh.
of shit going on. So a little bit of Call of Cthulhu-ish monsters in there.
I'm here for that.
So that should be fun. So yeah, we get to figure out what to do with that character because we played the rest of the campaign with my character like that, and we would just split the party.
Yeah.
I would go by myself and like, oh, it's a room full of 20 goblins, a wall of fire. Because I have so many spell slots now compared to what I did.
Turns out a level 12 druid in a setting meant for level 5 characters just dominates things.
Yeah, it's like, oh, boss fight, I'll turn into a fire elemental and do an ash load of damage to
Ash
set boss.
load?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's not a ton of stories with my characters like that. I mean, I have stories with my Star Wars Saga edition that we did with my droid, but I don't want to do the whole episode, so I'll let you guys talk about some of yours.
So
there is one that involves our 3 first characters.
Where the bad thing happens.
Yeah, there is one that does involve our first 3 characters, specifically just us 3.
I use it to describe my D&D play, or why I don't play clerics to people.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
The gist of it is, we'll be talking
it's so
about...
funny that he doesn't remember because he's the cause of it.
Right? Oh, yeah. Maybe a little bit of...
Because
that's right, were you blocking that out a little bit?
Yeah, because it...
Anyway.
Yeah, because you're the cause of it. You're a lot irked Will enough to get us all killed.
But,
I mean, that was me all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But now, I tell people... we talk about different play styles, like because I've played a fighter a couple times, I've played a barbarian a few times.
Yeah, everyone has like a class that they really love.
Yeah, for me, I think it's barbarian. I just love being a barbarian.
Yeah,
but I don't play clerics.
Yeah,
and I think it was Gabe I told, but he thought it was hilarious. Like, yeah, I played a cleric one time. We all died.
Yeah, yeah.
So wait,
not a good cleric.
So this is a perfect segue into the story.
So pretty much, I mean, it was the time you were there and you were there.
Yes,
and
it was just us 3 were the only players at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, this is that early.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It was our first characters.
I remember I made the mistake.
We were playing 3.5.
This was D&D 3.5.
Yeah.
But I made the mistake of choosing a fairly indifferent god as a cleric. So that's not really an ideal thing, you know.
Wasn't a lot of healing,
Yeah, not a lot of stuff going on. And then Will, I'm pretty sure it was that he was getting annoyed that we were just like table talking.
Yes, it was.
And so he started rolling dice, and I think, was it you that made like eye contact with Will while he was rolling dice, and the rest of us were talking like, oh.
Yeah, I knew what he was doing. I was like, uh-oh, he's not happy right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked at me. He knew that I was paying attention. But I mean, I was also paying attention to what you guys were talking to, because I was talking to you guys too.
Yeah.
But I was like looking at him of like.
I just remember hearing the dice roll and being like, shit.
Yeah. And then,
but yeah, we got attacked by Kobold.
Yeah.
A bunch of Kobolds.
A lot of Kobold.
But they had the height advantage. They were shooting like down at us from a ridge.
Yes, which gave them advantage.
Me, the healer, was the first one to go down.
Yes. Yeah.
And then one of you managed to resurrect me one time. Like, I got stabilized and got conscious for a second.
I was a ranger and had a spell that got you up. Yes.
And then I immediately got shot again.
Yes, it was. But I was also the only good choice for fighting them because I was a ranger.
Yeah. And I mean... And, like, that was extreme. That character, I literally, the character, for some reason, I was playing spoke Abyssal.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was just calling out to whatever was out there with my dying words.
So, and was this when I was the archer or the rogue?
The rogue.
I thought, was this the first game?
Because I thought was this Renus or Pritard? This was Renus or Pritard, one of the two.
Yeah.
I think I was the rogue right after these characters died.
Okay, it might then.
So you might have been something else.
It might be Renus.
Yeah, it's probably Renus.
Yeah.
Well, no, isn't Renus
Renus might be my
sibling? Yeah, so it was probably Pritard.
Might be.
Pritard. Okay.
Yeah.
Pritard. I can't remember what class that was.
I don't remember either.
I feel like you were some kind of magic caster, but I don't.
No, but it's a horrible failure of a story, this one, because you guys were already dead. You might have been a bard.
You were a bard.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
you did a bard first in 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm the one remembering this.
Yeah.
We need to get together and talk about these memories more, because
I mean,
slowly I'm kind of...
You're losing them. They're going away.
Well, we've also did so many...
I smoke so much weed. Dude.
Yeah. We've also done a lot of campaigns in D&D now.
Yeah, we've been playing for years at this point.
Playing, so there's a lot to remember.
But yeah, I mean, and so, like, these guys were already dead.
Another reason I record them, because I want to listen to them later. It's not even for not, I mean, sure, I want to use it for content later, but at the same time, I like holding on to memories.
Yeah. Dyson has enough sound clips of all of us to incriminate the shit out of us.
I do, but I would never do that because I would also do it to myself.
Yeah.
I could definitely do it to myself.
Yeah.
But I like hoarding memories, so I'm like a dragon with memories.
Exactly. A memory dragon.
Yeah.
A purple dragon.
Yeah. Like, I like to think my memory is pretty good, but I also fill it with too much shit sometimes and forget things. I'll remember it later, maybe. Like it'll randomly appear, but when I want it to, not always.
It's out of context memories.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, so this character went as far as Will let me like make a deal with a devil to get powers temporarily.
Yes.
And it still managed to die.
Yeah, and we still died.
So yeah.
So wait, how did we die exactly?
It was just this shitload
we got killed by
kobolds.
fucking little lizard people shooting arrows at us.
Yeah,
from
they
the
just
cliff.
shot the fuck out of us with arrows.
Yeah.
It was literally
how tons and tons of adventurers would probably die in the actual Forgotten Realms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kobolds are up there with goblins.
And then I'm trying to think of all the characters that have died. I mean, those three for sure. Your bard.
Yeah. So I've had a bard. I had Vash die. Vash was the name of that bard that died.
I think you've had the most characters die that I've seen.
Yeah, probably.
I remember why that one happened was because we were trying to decide what it was. I was going to go check out this thing.
And it ended up being a roper.
And then, not only that, it was the bard who ended up doing it.
Yeah.
You.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because because me being a druid, I wasn't like, I was still pretty squishy too at that point. We didn't have the fucking power-ups yet.
Yeah.
So I think that was my druid, or was that my...
No, you would have had the Goliath.
Was it
the bard? Yeah, because the bard is the character that died and got replaced by Chaz.
Maybe I was hurt from a previous battle, and that's why I hadn't checked anything yet.
I think it was just me being dumb.
Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe you're
know.
just like, I'll do it. Yeah.
Nothing against Will as a DM. But now that I'm remembering it, in retrospect, I rolled super high on the perception check.
Yes.
And all he told me was that there was something, weird, something crazy about that one rock. And it didn't, the way he described it didn't sound threatening. So I was like, I'm going to go check out that rock.
Yeah.
It killed me immediately.
Also because it got a crit is the only reason it did kill you.
So, and I mean, these things happen.
Yeah, they do. I do agree somewhat with the he probably could have explained better because you
maybe a little more dangerous.
You did do a high roll. It's like you're you're getting a bad vibe from this thing.
Yeah.
Something like that at least.
It's like that rock might be drooling.
But also, yeah. You're hearing noises from this rock.
Gurgling from inside the rock.
Yeah, it's like...
it looks wet. The rock is wet.
But Will's also my first DM, so, I wasn't used to... at that point, I'd only known one DM style, so... That's just how I thought he was supposed to describe what was going on with a high enough roll.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Well, and I was also relatively... I'd had literally one DM before Will, so...
Yeah, I'd had Will, and I think the DM I've had the most now is probably you. So,
oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, because you've done a lot. You did the Dragon Heist.
Dragon Heist was fun.
We did all of that.
We went all the way through Dragon Heist.
What we've done of Mad Mage, you
guys have actually only been down like 4 levels.
Oh, I know, yeah. And then there's, of course, One Piece D&D.
Yeah.
And then there's all the Call of Cthulhu stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of just random one-shots in Call of Cthulhu. They tend to be isolated episodes.
I definitely have never seen Will more annoyed than anytime he was doing Star Wars.
Yeah, I really got him good and annoyed that one time.
I
when
think
we were talking about the blaster.
Yeah.
Gabe might have helped, but
Gabe helped, but yeah.
But in Will's defense, I did the thing you're not supposed to do, which is I started arguing about rules.
Yeah.
So, but
it was also on top of the Star Wars stuff. He was already overwhelmed by how much shit there is to do.
It's ridiculous. Well, because it's like 3.5 or Pathfinder. It's a ridiculous amount of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff going on, which he was not a fan of.
Yeah.
He does love DMing.
He does, yeah.
The only reason I'm not right now is because he's like, I think I want to DM something again. I was like, because the only reason I did 2 in a row was because I was like, yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I had Curse of Strahd to do. I did Baldur's Gate. I loved it.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed playing Baldur's Gate.
And Will's like, yeah, I think I need more time getting prepared for stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it again. I'll do Curse of Strahd.
I also enjoyed Curse of Strahd.
By the time of end of Curse of Strahd, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to DM again. I was like, let's go. Yeah. I was excited. I was like, yes.
Yeah, it's good to cycle out in the group, that way,
Because I've only had Slater once
because he DM'd Saltmarsh.
Yeah. And then, of course, I've only ever had Dylan for Call of Cthulhu stuff. So.
Yeah. Slater, he's excuse me, he's a good DM because he's got a creative thought process. He comes up with good stuff.
Yeah.
But he speaks so monotone and so quiet.
Yeah, he does. No, but we love Slater.
Yes, oh no, we love the shit out of Slater. He's the best.
Say, I think that I've only had you and Will, except if I've had anyone else, it was Dylan maybe one time.
Probably for a Call of Cthulhu.
For a Call of
or
Cthulhu,
something,
yeah.
I think that there was just one time with Dylan.
Yeah.
So that's it. So not very impressive.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other
resume.
stories. I mean, a lot of them involve other people.
Yeah. I have a story that's not connected to either of you guys, technically speaking.
Let's hear it, yeah.
So it was with my first DM. The guy, I worked with this guy at Pizza Hut, and he's the one that introduced me to the tabletop role-playing games. And his game of choice was Pathfinder. So that's what I actually learned on. And like for anyone listening, it's basically 3.5 edition, but a little more refined. But it's very, very reminiscent of 3.5. So, in my opinion, not a great system to actually start out on. But I loved the role-playing and the game, so it was fine. But anyways, he had a huge game going at one point. Like, I'm trying to think, there had to be 12 people at the table playing.
I mean, we've done that, but like a continuing one.
He was actually part of the inspiration for like, all right, I've got to do big games different than he did because it did not work well. Yeah. There was one point where I waited an hour for my turn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, there's times where I feel like it can get kind of long, even with how you're doing what you do. Great.
And I mean, I'm trying, but sometimes there's just so many people.
But I know it's because there's so many of us. Like I know why.
Yeah. But no, so and like it wasn't for lack of trying. He was definitely trying.
Right.
But there was also such a mix of people and people that didn't know each other. Like, there were people that I had no idea who they were. They had no idea who I was. We'd literally never met before.
Yeah.
And so the game didn't end. Like, it didn't actually ever end. We played this session we played 2 or 3 sessions of this game. And ended up calling it off. because of, like, outside the game drama. He had other stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
But I played a character that was called a magus. It was the class. Which is kind of like a wizard that uses swords, like you channel your magic through weapons and stuff.
Yeah, it's a class in many different video games and stuff.
Yep. But running away from conflict kind of became. You've seen me do that with other characters when we play. Yeah. This is the game where that kind of became a hallmark for me. This is kind of where I established that tradition. Yeah. Because we were exploring this abandoned church. And me and 2 other people were like, okay, we're going to form a little party and we're going to go outside and check this thing out.
Yeah.
And so, we're going along, and this swarm of some kind of insects attacks us. And I get hit hard right away.
Yeah.
And I fell down for a little bit, and I managed to make the saving throws and get myself stabilized. And the other 2 people were viciously fighting these insects. And I look up and I look at them and I'm like, you guys got this? And I run back inside and shut the door behind me. And then I went and joined up with the other party. I was like, I left them outside. They're good.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, you're like all bloody.
In my defense, I was at 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Like, I ran away because I was going to die if I didn't.
Yeah.
But that kind of established my... Because the DM lost his shit. He was like, you just ran away. I was like, I was going to die.
Yeah, it's like, I'm one shot, bro.
And there was also, in that same campaign, there was a point where there was hallucinations going on. Like, we were in this area where you couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't. And one of the guys was a paladin. And so paladins have a rule in Pathfinder where if you do, like, evil stuff, you can lose your paladin powers.
Oh, okay.
And we were fighting a unicorn. A unicorn attacked us. And I remember being like, why the fuck's the unicorn here? Like, there's all, like, weird eldritch stuff going on here, and there's hallucinations. It's not a real unicorn. Yeah. Attack the unicorn, dude. And he's like, but if it's a real unicorn, I'm going to lose my paladin powers.
Yeah.
Then the unicorn gores me and stabs my character into a wall. And I'm like, will you please attack the unicorn?
Yeah. Someone killed this
fucking
unicorn.
And then someone else killed the unicorn. He never attacked the unicorn. I was sitting there with it stabbed into me trying to attack it.
Yeah.
And somebody else finished it off.
Yeah,
Sure enough, it's a hallucination.
Yeah.
It was not a real unicorn. So I almost died to the unicorn because he refused to attack it.
One of my favorites is still something that Brandon did in our One Piece D&D with
the Nargacuga.
Yeah, with the Nargacuga.
Oh,
yeah.
the devil fruit?
Yeah, when you force-fed it a devil fruit. That was great.
It just fucking breaks up into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a bunch
so
of balls and it doesn't know what's
the
happening.
berry fruit
Yeah.
is the fruit that our friend Brandon fed in Nargacuga. In our, I'm sure you can tell by the descriptions of things, this is a very over-the-top homebrew in One Piece. There's very powerful
One
stuff.
Piece is over the top. So
Yeah,
that makes
that's the
sense.
whole point. But I had the brilliant decision to insert Monster Hunter IP into it as well.
Which was fun.
It
I
was
loved
fun, but oh my god, I'm not doing a whole other book's worth of IP again in another, I'm not doing another game within a
We
game.
should definitely do a Monster Hunter style
Yes,
one.
I still have
in the
those
future.
books.
Yes,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
But, no, yeah. Brandon, do you want to tell the Nargacuga story?
I mean, what? So, what was it? Dylan did something.
So, I can relay the story if you guys want. If you would prefer.
Yeah.
I didn't
At
want to
least
stop
up
you from
until-
getting. You haven't gotten near as many words in as Dyson or I for this,
Yeah.
podcast.
He's definitely also not played as much.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the whole situation with the Nargacuga is, I believe you were having to leave, and you were like, "All right, I'm going to make an impact on this thing
Yes,
soon."
yes.
And so
You
they
could get us
found
to the point of what he does.
Yeah.
Because I think you at least know, you at least remember what you
Yeah.
did to it and everything
Yeah,
and your thought
yeah,
process.
Yeah. So Brandon's character, most of them have devil fruit powers, and they were on this island fighting monsters from Monster Hunter.
Wait, can I tell the story about how I got the devil fruit?
Oh yeah, isn't that like
Yes.
it's a backstory thing? Yeah, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
We'll put a
clarify.
pin in the Nargacuga stories,
Yes.
but we'll tell you how Brandon
Yeah.
got his fruit.
Yeah, we gotta tell some backstory real quick. So we had landed on an island. I think we had to wait 3 days for the ship to get repaired, and then we had gone to a bar. See, I remember some shit.
Yeah.
We had gone to a bar, and then I don't remember exactly what everyone else was doing. I think you guys were planning on. Well, no, not you. You guys were planning on. Like heisting it later, and because I remember you
Yes,
had
we were gonna heist something.
Yeah, you had smoked out the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you guys did. rob
Because
the
Dyson's
bar.
character has the smoke logia.
Yes.
Yes. Very important info.
Yeah.
But anyway, during that time, I had been pickpocketing, and I found some info, and I decided to go return some found items to what I presume to be an rich and famous gangster who I decided to join their gang, and he turned out to just be an asshat.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
small time bullshit.
yeah, like it was a crew of like 3 people. So then I killed all 3 and looted their house, was rewarded just the devil fruit,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was something else for the longest time, but I was never sure what it was.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
remember.
you thought it was the spring fruit, right? Because that's the one you were looking for. Because you guys fought that monkey that had the spring legs
Yes.
when you were looking
I
for your
might-
We
pieces.
looked for it, but he couldn't find it. I remember that.
Yeah.
So we never got our hands on it.
Yeah. But
I think I did look one up, and I think
I think what you thought, because it's the what's the ball
it looks like a
called?
bunch of grapes.
It does look like, what's the name of it?
Oh, the berry fruit.
Okay.
Or berry.
I think
yeah.
you might have been thinking of the barrier fruit.
Oh,
which
like
is-
Barto.
Yes. But I can't remember what you were thinking. I just remember you did think it was a different devil fruit than what it was.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, so yeah, I remember I came back to the ship and I told you all about it,
Yeah.
and then you all decided to burn the house down and destroy all the evidence. Well, you didn't. I keep looking at you.
Yeah.
and talking
I was
to you,
DMing this,
Yes,
so
yeah,
all
yes.
I'm doing is
Hey, a
determining
lot of the
how
time,
things
my
react.
character Duke does not go for a lot of crazy shit.
Nope.
He's more so trying to keep us under most wraps, at least for Marines and stuff. Doesn't give a fuck about other pirates. Like, well, let's fucking kill other pirates because
Just
But
pirates.
wasn't
Yeah.
destroying all the evidence your idea?
no,
No. Whose idea was it? Was it Dylan's?
probably.
Dylan, or it could be Grace.
Dylan, Grace, or
also.
Slater.
Yeah.
I feel like those 3 were more along
So
those
you were
lines.
telling the story though of how you got the devil fruit you fed to the Nargacuga, not your devil fruit, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's what he's meant.
Yeah,
That's
that
okay.
was it.
Yeah, I misunderstood you then.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't gonna go that far back.
okay. So yeah, because all that stuff happened in the West Blue where you guys started, and then the Nargacuga was in the Grand Line. So.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so that's how I tamed that fruit, and then later on, and then you can go ahead and tell. I mentioned basically, I was about to leave, and me and my shenanigans, I like to fuck something up before going, and being that everyone's gonna play for another hour, I like to make things interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That, of course, just blew up in my face immediately. So yeah.
So for context, Brandon's character has the chop fruit.
Yes. Yes. So I guess I should mention that whenever I had given it to him, I'm trying to remember how it played out exactly, but I had lost my hand. And how did that work? Where I was able to feed him, but I lost my hand in the process.
So you shoved your hand into his mouth with the fruit and tried to pull it back and failed the dexterity save, so he closed his mouth on your hand and ate it at the same time as the fruit.
Yes.
Shit, yes.
Yeah.
So that's how I lost my hand. And then what did Dylan do?
So basically you guys found the Nargacuga asleep in its den, and they wanted to sneak in there and try and kill it in its sleep.
Yeah, I filled the place up with smoke.
So you guys could get the parts from it.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was you had to go, so you palmed that devil fruit and shoved it in its mouth, and since it's the berry fruit, and this thing is an animal, it immediately exploded into tons of grape-sized, marbles, and was flying around its den, which it couldn't get out of because it's incredibly confused.
Yeah.
And then it suffocated because they barriered the thing and filled it with smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we didn't get any parts because it died in little grape marble-sized, balls. So, which I do have one more One Piece story.
I had I thought of a couple things that I just I remember one thing that I just fucking loved, which was I had my head unattached and floating around, and you better hope I can cut that out, motherfucker. And interrupt my story.
You had your head detached and floating around.
Anyway, so floating around, and then I was trying to pickpocket this other ship that we were meeting halfway. And then I failed, and then hid, and then brought my head up over from the inside of the boat, just the eyes. And then the guy was pointing me out because he had some kind of observation hockey. Yeah, and then I just went right back down. But that moment was so fucking funny. That was perfectly timed.
Recently, Slater did something at our last session that was pretty crazy. Was pretty crazy. He blew us all up. He turned into a barrel bomb, and he blew up our ship. We don't have a ship no more. Almost everyone died except for me, Hackler, and himself because he used his devil fruit ability, so of course he's okay.
Yeah,
now he's just in the water.
Yeah.
Luckily, Mary's character had made everyone flotation devices, so. They're all floating in the water, dying, because he did an absolute shit ton of damage with this explosion.
330 damage.
Yes, and then even if you took half, even at half, if I would have taken the damage and I go into my smoke form, I would have had 1 HP left, which would have been the second time that night that I'd had 1 HP left, because I did a 1v1 with a fucking, a monster.
Yep.
And
Renton was his name. Dude pretty much had cave troll stats.
Yes. Yeah. But, he blows everyone up, and I used a lot of my healing items to get everyone pretty much stable. But we lost some characters along the way.
Oh my
Jeremy
God.
died.
Oh my God,
Jeremy.
Diamond Cock?
Yep,
Yeah.
Diamond Dick Jeremy is dead.
Jeremy died, and so did Pokey.
Pokey Dex.
Our fishman.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, exactly. But those are the only ones that died.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to heal everybody as fast
and
as I
all
could.
the Palicos.
Yes, all the Palicos are dead. All of our cat people. They're all dead. Yeah.
What?
Probably all of our other pets.
Slave?
Yeah, I think all of our other
Killed
pets
the
are
slaves?
probably dead too.
Yeah.
Wait, am I okay?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
God.
didn't have people that Dylan wasn't there either. I
Uh-huh.
didn't have people that weren't there roll death saving throws.
Uh-huh,
I
we
just
just
went ahead
pretended
and say
like-
that they survived barely with the others.
Barely, and I healed them
Okay.
also.
Yeah.
To a little bit of HP.
So, because I
But
didn't want to kill people.
We were
without
able to
them
call
even being
people to
there.
come help with, some with Constitution checks.
Mm-hmm.
So the South Park is what showed up first. So Matt and Trey coming to the rescue again.
Which, if you guys want to voice that, I would love it.
Yeah, it would be great. Yeah, that was great because
I
it
would have died. in
completely blindsided Soren. It was so funny. I mean, all of us.
Yeah.
But whenever he showed you what he wanted to do, and I saw the look on your face, I was like, I don't even know what this is. I didn't think he was gonna do it
Yeah.
in a point that would fuck the rest of us up.
So bad.
I would have killed him if I died.
Luckily, me and Hackler could fucking fly in our elemental forms. So,
Yeah.
I was able to heal a bunch of people, but
So why did he do it? Just
he
being.
just wanted to.
Yeah.
So
just being a
basically,
slayer.
a
Yeah.
vice
That's
admiral
awesome.
showed up. There was a vice
Yes.
admiral named Red Barracuda.
Yeah, we were fighting.
And he
a
had a
vice-
car that was like a 1965 Mustang that was equipped to drive on the ocean.
Yes.
And he drove up beside the ship, and he was, he was like wanted to conduct an inspection essentially because they were being suspicious and not flying any flags of any kind. And then he almost, the kid Kenny tried to stab him.
Yeah, because piracy.
Yeah, piracy. And they managed to convince the guy that the kid was just traumatized from having been on a pirate crew.
Yeah.
Then they started fighting because he found wanted posters for the crew in Hackman's room.
That he
Yeah.
tried to convince his, was it
Hackman tried to telepathically communicate with the mongoose.
his mongoose?
to
Yes.
destroy all. Oh, the mongoose is dead.
Mongoose, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was actually also fighting
Gabe.
Gabe,
Yeah.
in his small farm.
They were just
the mongoose.
pissing on and shredding various documents in this
but
area.
not the wanted posters.
Not the wanted posters.
I wanted posters on my person.
Yeah.
So, no pat downs.
Well, and I asked Hackman, I'm like, what do you think the chances are you don't
Wait,
have wanted posters?
And he would definitely have them.
Yeah.
It was like, his character with conspiracy theory, everything. Like,
Yeah.
he had them. So he found them and he's like, oh yeah, it's you
It's
guys.
like, hey!
Yeah, you guys are pirates. Yeah, so then he
Yeah.
attacked us.
Yeah. I think technically he said you were under arrest and you guys started combat.
Yes,
but,
yes, we did.
that's how it usually is.
And the
Then
only
he
reason
whistled and his car jumped up from the ocean onto
Yes.
the deck of the ship.
Yes, we fought his car too.
Yeah, his car was flooding. Yeah, and then Slater turned into some kind of barrel bomb.
And exploded.
Yeah.
Which exhausted him one
Yeah.
level, and
So I guess that doesn't mean
That's
Slater
why.
has a hard limit. If he blows himself up 5 times in the day, he just dies with that
Yeah.
last one.
yeah. Yeah.
But you can only have 5 levels of exhaustion before you. I think it's 5 levels before you die.
I
Yeah.
believe so. Yeah. So yeah, that was something that happened last time.
That was pretty
So was
amazing.
that the very end of the?
That was that.
We
I mean,
pretty
we're
much
still
once
going.
we got the fallout from that kind of dealt with, and everyone on a ship,
Yeah,
another
we're-
ship that showed up to rescue them.
Yeah, now we're on our way to another island. We're just on the South Bar
Yeah,
with
just-
the rest of that crew.
Which I'm sure many of the people that play, I know a lot of people are like, oh, South Park.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's great. Yeah, and then we found out some information about the Vice Admiral we were fighting, that he's buddies with the Black Knight guy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know things, but
Yeah.
Duke and the characters don't. So I'm like, well, shit. I'm excited to see who you have as our, beat the fuck out of us right before the time skip.
Oh.
So that
There's
should be fun.
more than one, actually.
Yeah. The fact that there's possibilities
Yeah.
excites me.
So, 'cause you guys
we
are-
run into other strong characters.
Mhm.
So
Well, and we introduced the Admiral that Gabe has a connection with, the one
Yes.
that originally arrested Gabe.
yes,
So.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
he
has
fucked
the
shit up.
only devil fruit that was originally an Admiral devil fruit because he has the
Mhm.
ice fruit.
Yeah. Yes.
When are you planning on introducing my dad?
I actually have I know what devil fruit your dad has, and I know what kind of shit he's been up to, and I was kind of just waiting for a reasonable opportunity for him to be in a place when you are there as well.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to introduce him without you being there. I actually even have your dad connected to another character that's connected to the crew. Yeah. So.
Yes. And you remember his name?
Oh, I do. I do
Yes.
indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm very excited for more of it. So, because we're just doing it until we get to the stopping point after once we hit time skip.
Yeah.
And then we were going back to Mad Mage for a little while.
I think we're going to do Mad Mage for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe try some like high-level one-shots. I think that would be fun.
That too.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think Slater mentioned wanted to try Mothership. So
yeah, Mothership Zeta. That should be fun.
Yeah, we have some other ones we want to try in the future. So
Mothership. We're rambling off on our
yes,
future plans. It's probably time to go ahead and bring
There's
this
other
one to a
stories, but
close.
that is for other people.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in more wacky D&D stories, definitely tell us. Share some of your D&D stories in the comments, definitely. And if you enjoyed any of these stories, you can maybe subscribe and tell more stories.
Yeah.
Wait, I told you the dad's name already, right?
Yes, you told me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So he knows. Yeah.
Yes.
Dixie Links.
Yeah. Yes.
C stands for cheese.
Yeah.
Because I would have met him, since our characters childhood friends. Like, well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we'll say I know.
Yeah. Yep.
But thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.